Driving under the influence has long been recognized as a significant public safety issue. The consequences of drunk driving are often severe, ranging from property damage to life-altering injuries and fatalities. In this video, we will share 7 moments when drunk drivers reacted to their life sentences. Number 7. Eileen Aldor. Eileen Aldor, a woman from Las Vegas, was sentenced to 26 years in jail for causing a high-speed DUI collision. The accident tragically took the life of an 8-year-old child and critically injured his parents. Aldor was driving at 103 kilometers per hour when she collided with the family's vehicle. Toxicology testing revealed that she was under the influence of narcotics. During the hearing, Aldor cried loudly, apologizing to the boy's family and expressing deep regret. The family wore t-shirts that read, "For the love of Levy," and encouraged the judge to set an example for the community. They emphasized their decision not to forgive her. Throughout the 90-minute sentencing, Aldor sobbed profusely, expressing heartfelt regret. However, the prosecution saw her apologies as too late, highlighting the necessity for punishment. Joey, the victim's brother, expressed his desire for the greatest sentence, claiming that it would be the nicest birthday present for his late brother. Aldor was sentenced to 26 years to life in prison with no possibility of parole, which relieved Levy's mother, who expressed appreciation for achieving justice and planned to focus on emotional recovery as a family now that the legal proceedings were over. Number 6. Todd Kinski. Todd Kinski has been sentenced to life in prison for killing 25-year-old Angela Wimmer while driving drunk. 48-year-old Todd Kinski spent the morning at 3 bars, drinking 9 shots of liquor and 4 beers before driving his pickup truck. He collided with Wimmer, who was stopped at a red light. She sustained major head injuries and died 2 hours later in the hospital. Kinski's blood alcohol level was 341, more than 4 times the legal limit in Colorado. Kinski had 6 previous DUI offenses in 2004, 2011, and 2017, although no charges were filed for the 2017 incident. A Jefferson County jury convicted him of first-degree murder, vehicular manslaughter, 3 charges of attempted first-degree assault, and 2 counts of negligent driving resulting in harm. Upon hearing his life sentence, Kinski reacted with shock and disbelief. He repeatedly said all he wanted to do was go home, unable to fully comprehend the severity of his punishment. Number 5. George Solace. George Solace, a 20-year-old from Ellenwood, Georgia, was sentenced to 50 years in prison for causing a fatal accident while driving drunk on I-75. He killed 3 people and badly injured 2 others. Despite being on probation for a previous DUI, Solace drove his Ford F-350 in the wrong direction, hitting head-on with a family car. This terrible occurrence occurred on Father's Day, leaving devastation among the victims' families. Solace was discovered passed out in the median, with witnesses verifying his intoxication. He pleaded guilty to several crimes, including DUI and driving with a suspended license. Solace couldn't believe the judge had sentenced him to 50 years in jail. He attempted to persuade the judge of his innocence, but his efforts were useless. The judge understood the pain inflicted on the victims' families and handed down a severe sentence. Despite the suffering caused, Solace showed little remorse and only focused on reducing his punishment. Number 4. Ashley Freeman. After the terrible collision in 2018, Ashley Freeman, a young woman from Santee, took the life of a man while driving drunk and on the wrong side of the road. She was sentenced to almost 12 years in prison on February 26, 2018. Freeman, then 22 years old, was traveling alongside Interstate 8 at the interchange with Interstate 5. She had a blood alcohol content of 0.28 at the time of the accident. Freeman and another woman were driving a blue Toyota Camry when it collided with a Volkswagen Jetta just before 2 a.m. Justin Callahan died from his injuries hours after the crash. Freeman and her companion sustained serious injuries. Months later, Freeman admitted to being at fault for the collision in court, saying, "My lapse of judgment has taken Justin, the guy you all adore, and I will never be able to apologize for my actions that night." Hearing this, Justin Callahan's mother forgave Freeman, but reminded her that God is the last judgment. Freeman, visibly emotional, apologized and expressed hope for forgiveness. Freeman pleaded guilty to many crimes, including manslaughter, and was sentenced to 11 years and 8 months in prison. Despite the plea deal, Justin Callahan's family expressed displeasure, feeling Freeman deserved a longer sentence. Freeman's father characterized her as a decent person who made a horrible decision. Number 3. Sean Blicchington. Sean Blicchington was convicted of drunk driving and causing a crash that took the lives of Ryan Kennedy, Bailey McKnight, and their unborn child. He was sentenced to 60 years in prison. Blicchington's actions left behind a devastated family, including the 3-year-old son of the victims, Hayden. During the trial, Blicchington read an apology letter to the victims' families, expressing his deep regret and acknowledging his struggle with alcoholism. His older brother and other family members also apologized, citing a history of alcoholism in the family. The crash had a tremendous impact, as the victims' mothers revealed in their impact statements. Susie Kennedy reported feeling as if a piece of herself had died that night, and she grieved the missed future moments with her daughter, such as wedding plans and time with her unborn grandchild. Misty McKnight, Hayden's caregiver, described his eating and school challenges since his mother's death. Blicchington's counsel sought leniency, requesting a 32.5-year sentence with treatment, while state prosecutors argued for a life term based on his history of DUI offenses and driving with a revoked license. Finally, the judge sentenced Blicchington to 60 years in jail, ensuring that he would remain behind bars well into his old age. Number 2. Grace Elizabeth Coleman. Grace Elizabeth Coleman, a 23-year-old California woman, was sentenced to at least 21 years in prison for a drunken hit-and-run accident that killed a couple and injured their 3 young daughters. The family was out looking at Christmas lights when Coleman, who was driving drunk, collided with their car in Newport Beach. Coleman admitted responsibility for the accident, which took the lives of Henry Eduardo Salina Mejia, 27, and his wife Gabriela Andante, 28. The daughters were hospitalized after suffering major injuries such as fractured legs and broken arms. Coleman had a blood alcohol level of 0.22%, over 3 times the legal limit. During the emotional court hearing, 2 of the daughters read letters to their late parents. Although Coleman wore a mask, witnesses noted she was crying. She did not speak at the hearing, but met privately with the victims' families to convey her great regret. The family's attorney characterized the encounter as quite emotional. Despite their anguish, the family believed Coleman was genuinely apologetic. However, they filed a negligence lawsuit against Coleman and her parents, accusing them of allowing her to drive despite her previous DUI incidents. Number 1. Amber Pereira. Amber Pereira of Tampa Bay was engaged in a catastrophic crash on the Selman Expressway in 2017. Driving under the influence of alcohol, she set off a chain reaction that killed 3 members of the Felipak family. Pereira's car collided with Luis Felipak, his wife Rita, and their 8-year-old daughter Georgia, forcing their vehicle into oncoming traffic where it was struck by 2 other cars and caught fire. Pereira tried to flee the scene, but was apprehended when her damaged car couldn't go any farther. She initially claimed to have suffered a seizure, but was later charged with DUI manslaughter and other major felonies. Tests revealed that she had been drinking and had cannabis in her system. Circuit Judge Christopher Sabella sentenced Pereira to 50 years in jail, rejecting her attorney's request for a 20-year term. Pereira couldn't stop crying as soon as the punishment was announced. The judge emphasized that she attempted to avoid taking responsibility for her acts, highlighting the lives she harmed. Hope you enjoyed watching the video. If you did, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to stay updated with more exciting content. Thanks for watching.